Okay, we have Hell in a Cell. Now, this is Tuesday, and since SmackDown is going to be live on Sci-Fi, check your local listings for availability, I'm not really going to know what other additional matches are going to add to Hell in a Cell beyond this time. I don't feel like shooting the video Saturday morning either. So I'm not going to be spoilers for it. I really can't do a whole lot from that. But first, I'm going to do a very, very brief Raw recap. I liked the opening tag match. Could they have displayed Morrison better? Yes. But I do think showing that Daniel Bryan wants to whoop the crap out of The Miz, and The Miz wants to tear Daniel Bryan apart, works really well. That beatdown with Morrison trying to pull, Bryan off, and then Morrison getting beaten on, it just had that really great chaotic feel to it, which sets up a bizarre submissions count anywhere match. Triple threat between Morrison, Miz, and Daniel Bryan. I don't think I've ever recalled seeing The Miz beat somebody with a submission, or Morrison. So I would look to see Daniel Bryan retain this. That's just my thought, Having not seen those two kick out a submission, really? They don't have like a signature submission hold, Even though I think a House of Pain from either one of them would be very impressive. Or an Indian Deathlock. There are lots of moves you could throw out that would look really good for either one of those two guys. I'll look for Daniel Bryan to retain. Now, the other tag matches. The one that had the Nexus versus Henry and Bourne. I love the fact that both Gabriel and Bourne sell the damage they do to themselves off a high-risk move. I love that. That's great. Because you know what? If you are impacting someone's body to the point that they are injured, you probably sustain some level of injury as well. It's like when people sell the superplex. You just fell the top rope as well. So, do I think the Nexus is going to be destroyed by John Cena? Oh, I have read reports that they wanted to end the Nexus around October. But seriously, if they get rid of the Nexus, they've got two guys who I don't see them doing anything with. Barrett, at best right now, he's like upper mid-card, lower main event. The other Nexus, I don't see him going anywhere. He goes from main title feuds to probably almost like a US belt feud. He goes down to like mid-titles. Tarver and Otunga, Tarver needs a stable for him to do anything. Otunga, he's close. If he could develop better in-ring skills, he could be like your next Brock. However, he is not quite there yet. Give him a year. Gabriel and Slater, them as a tag team works. That works. Those two and Barrett could survive the collapse of Nexus. Now, John Cena has been doing a hot mess of nothing. So, if you put Cena in Nexus, that allows for, at bragging rights or Survivor Series, whichever one's going to come next, you can have Nexus versus Raw versus SmackDown. And that could work. That could work well. And then essentially you have John Cena doing it the break the group apart from the inside, which allows you to take a few of those guys, turn them face, the other ones stay heel. So in the 6-person group, you easily use Cena to divide a line. You then have like Cena, Slater, and Gabriel against Barrett, Otunga, and Tarver. You can find a way to break that team up into making it, enough in the way of a unit that it still kind of works. So I look for Barrett to win this. Because if he doesn't, they've really, really wasted a gold mine of storylines. Okay. The sequence with Edge fighting the GM Speak and Say. Oh, that was dumb. The match that he had against John Cena. You know, knowing that I saw Cena's foot on the ropes, I saw that Cena was going to win because what he does, Cena wins. The Divas match, the Battle Royal. I'm glad they made Tamina look strong. I'm glad they made Natalya look strong. I had to hit mute because I don't want to hear Lake Cool talk about nothing. Seriously, nothing. I don't know how in the world Undertaker is married to Michelle McCool. She talks 1/3 of that way at home. He probably slaps her in a Hell's Gate almost every night. Shut up. And it's not that I want to see them lose. I want to see them get destroyed. I want to see Natalya fight both of them and put them through tables and then punt them. I want to see her do a double punt. I want to see their heads she'd like to run and just punt them both. I want to see them get kicked in the head like it's a Bill Goldberg thrust kick. So, do I think we're going to see Natalya versus Lay Cool at the pay-per-view? We might. Heel trickery, Lay Cool has to retain. I don't picture them letting Natalya on both shows. Now we're going to go with the tag team situation. Why would you ever remotely tease breaking the Hart Dynasty? You're only tag team with the freaking name, and you want to break them up. Why? You think Tyson Kidd has a huge future on his own? Think David Hart Smith has a huge future on their own? No. If you want to build a tag division, build freaking tag division. Stuff between the Hart Dynasty and the Usos was actually going some places. Then you decided to go, we'll put Cody Rhodes on both shows with Drew McIntyre. Whatever. The belts are ugly. They probably won't be defended at the pay-per-view. What else do we have? I have to talk about the Orton-Jericho match. That match was so good. It ended beautifully well. You know, putting Jericho on the shelf with a punt means if and when he decides to come back, he's got a go-to feud with a main event guy. Beautiful. The Khali Sheamus match. I'm sorry, seeing the handprint on his chest towards the end of the match, brilliant. Watching Sheamus just go nuts and destroy the Great Khali. We've never seen him be that dominant on Khali before. Leads in beautifully to their match. I look for Sheamus to do a lot in this match. However, he's taken on Orton. And he has not beaten Orton. And Orton is ridiculously white hot right now. So I look for Orton to retain. So you're going to do a recap. If Lay Cool has a match, I picture them retaining. You know, the Orton-Sheamus match, I picture Orton retaining. The triple threat, submissions count anywhere, Bryan retaining. I will assume if there's any match involving Ziggler and Kingston, this is the time for Kingston to win and get the belt back. You don't have your main face lose that many pay-per-views in a row in the exact same feud. You have to have the title change hands to have it do anything. So now we're going to go to the match that I think is going to be done very, very well. Taker is great in a Hell in a Cell. Kane debuted at Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Throw in Paul Bearer, so many stacked against Kane in this one. And knowing how when Kane debuted, he laid out Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell. I picture Taker winning this one and taking the belts. You're probably thinking, that's not that many matches. Yeah, if there is a tag match, I don't picture the belts changing hands. If it is against the Hart Dynasty, with them currently having inner turmoil, I don't picture the belt going anywhere. The only belt I really do see changing hands is the World Heavyweight title. I also picture, I think Cena losing makes for a much better story than Cena winning. And that, my friend, that's Hell in a Cell. Going away from an IC title match, if there is one, I would assume Ziggler loses to keep the belt really going someplace. And that's going to be Hell in a Cell. It should be interesting, you know. Hell in a Cell is normally, the cell matches are always pretty good. They're nice and violent. With it being PG and no blood, they've lost a little bit, but that's the way Vince wants to do it, so that's what we got to live with.